we have a guest. We have a guest on the line. Somebody who's writing about a team I am watching quite frequently, even though they might have a Pacers-esque reputation. I do enjoy the Sixers. He's not on Twitter, but he has excellent thoughts on the internet. Tom Sunnergren, how you doing, man?
I'm doing very well, Ethan. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Your face is a little frozen. Not in an unflattering pose, but I can hear you just fine. But I guess we'll progress from here. I guess the first thing I want to ask you is what the hell happened last night? I was really primed for this to be a series, and it was an evenly matched one. Broad question, what the hell?
Sixers just ran into a buzzsaw last night. I mean, the Celtics did absolutely every single thing right. They were shooting like 59% through three quarters. Even all the little things they don't do well, they manage to do extraordinarily. Zach Lowe pointed out something pretty intelligent a couple days ago. He said that a lot of people give the Celtics offense credit for being very efficient, but that's not really the case. I mean, they just hit their shots when they take them. They shoot at a high rate, but they turn the ball over, way more often than is winning basketball. They don't get to the line very regularly, and they don't get any second chance points. Last night they did all of those things, and they coupled that with their regular high shooting efficiency. So it was a nightmare. And Kevin Garnett he's killing us right now. I don't know what to do except for I don't want to say hope for an ACL injury, but I think that's basically what it would take for the Sixers to slow him down at this point.
Deep down you do. You're like Scott Robb. I guess what I want to know is, at one point yesterday, I think Rondo, before missing some shots at the end, was 9 of 12 or 9 of 13. And a lot of them weren't jump shots. He was getting into the lane. He was getting converting a lot of layups and closed shots. I kind of thought that the Sixers would have... I'm sorry that I'm interrogating the Sixers through you, but I'm very disappointed in them. What happened to the perimeter defense, and why do you think Rondo is getting those easy baskets?
I don't know that I would say it was the Sixers necessarily as much as Rondo. I think we were actually, more or less doing what we consistently do. But it was one of those things where Paul Pierce started 0 for 6 yesterday, and he was looking, really slow and hampered by that MCL thing. And Rondo sort of did the thing that everybody's been waiting for him to do. I mean, he started really taking it to the lane, and instead of weirdly passing off when he got good looks, I mean, he really attacked. So I would say that it's more credit to Rondo than any kind of flaw or fault in the Sixers scheme.
I'm often watching Drew Holiday, and sometimes when it's just at the end of the shot clock or it's a chaotic situation, he makes some kind of fluid, beautiful play. And I wonder, would he be twice the player if Doug Collins was half as uptight? Is that unfair for me to wonder? What are your thoughts on that? Is Drew Holiday secretly good and perhaps in the wrong bogged down conservative system?
No, I mean, I think Drew Holiday is secretly not that good. He's I think he's sort of miscast as a point guard, and I kind of reject the idea that he's stifled by Doug Collins' uptightness. I mean, one of the areas where Doug Collins isn't so uptight is he actually encourages guys to go out there and just shoot away. I mean, famously after the I guess it was the Game 5 at the Wells Fargo Center against Chicago, Drew Holiday started 1 of 14 from the floor, and he kept shooting, and one of the reasons he kept shooting is Collins gave him, explicitly just gave him permission to go out there and keep trying to make things happen offensively.
I'm wondering, do you think that this is the right offense to fit the personnel? This really disincentivizing turnovers, low turnovers, shoot long twos. Do you think that this is the way you'd want to see it done, or are you frustrated with such a strategy?
Yeah. I mean, it's really frustrating, actually, especially because we don't really have the correct personnel for it. We got a lot of really young athletic guys who they'd be much better served if they were allowed to really attack the basket and be a little bit more aggressive. And I don't want to be too critical of the scheme itself because I think it's been effective. I mean, the Sixers had a scoring differential of 4.2 this year. I mean, I don't think there's any way they would have been able to swing that, or most other coaches would be able to do that with this group. The main problem with the Sixers, they just don't have great personnel, period, for any scheme. And that said, Doug Collins has done a pretty good job, sort of alchemy work here, making something happen where a lot of other people would have been able to. Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't like watching people miss 18-footers. That's not fun basketball. You know, I don't think anybody enjoys that. But
well, this is. I'm curious to know what your take is, because you're pessimistic on Drew, and I'm wondering if that pessimism perhaps realism extends further on out. I watched last night's game, and I thought that's the series. Obviously, it's not true in technicality, but do you think that effectively ended this?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I mean, obviously, it's going to be hard to win 3 out of 4 games against anybody, let alone a veteran team that's had a lot of postseason success, a lot more than you have, ended the season like gangbusters. But no, I wouldn't say it's over at all. I think as long as Paul Pierce is struggling with his knee, I think the Sixers have we got a puncher's chance. And one thing I'm going to look for is Andre Iguodala to be a touch more aggressive offensively, really make Pierce work on the defensive end so he's less able to score 24 points and get to the line 14 times.
So, I mean, how do you see it exactly playing out? What do you think is going to happen? 6-game prediction, victory prediction? I mean, it seems like you thought what happened last night was sort of atypical and perhaps a fluke, and there could be some mean regression to help the Sixers out, and it wasn't necessarily what they were doing. It was more the circumstances.
Yeah, excuse me. I think these are two teams that are a lot more closely matched than last night's score indicates, obviously. But my instinct is still probably that it's going to be the Celtics. The Sixers did reasonably well against them this year, but it was I'm going 6. I'm going Celtics in 6.
Oh, okay. What do you make of Lavoy Allen? Actually, it seemed like it was quite unfair to put him on Garnett. That was abuse. I think that was something that was possibly a crime occurred somewhere in that.
Yeah, I mean, I see him as a potential starter going forward. It's hard to really know what his ceiling is. I mean, he had a reasonably good rookie season, but he's also a 20-year-old kid who was a second-round draft pick, and coming into the season, I think he was rated last in ESPN.com's preseason player rankings. So it's hard to have super high hopes and expectations for him. As far as his getting abused by Kevin Garnett, yeah, that happened last night, but he actually in Game 2 did reasonably well on him, and he actually performed pretty admirably himself offensively. That said, we just don't really have anybody to stick on Garnett. I'm not really sure what the situation is with Elton Brand. It seems like he is really worn down profoundly as the season has ground on. So there's not really anybody else. I mean, Spencer Hawes certainly doesn't have a chance in hell of sticking with Garnett.
Poor Hawes.
Well, good luck, Tom, and good luck to the Sixers. I actually picked them to win this series, so
me too.
Last night
Smart
was
pick,
not a good
Beckley.
sign. Hey, thanks, Zach. But
He wasn't the
thanks a
only
lot
one.
for coming on, Tom, and we'll read you over at Philadunkia.
All right, thanks
Please
for
join
having me,
Twitter.
gentlemen.
Yeah, and join Twitter. If you want to bother Tom
Yeah.
Sunnergren about not being on Twitter,
Here's his address.
His personal email is tsunnergren@gmail.com, and I recommend that you bother the heck out of him.